Okay, here, one of the things right off the bat on this one is that your leg is so straight here, man. I mean, it's just super straight. And you see how that makes your horizontal vector, the fourth vector, go straight up, right? I mean, it's not straight up, it's a 45 degrees, but you want your hips need to come down. Like we looked at the Kaden Walker video, your hips come down. This brings this leg down, and your shin angle should be more like this. And it'll bring this shin angle down too. So you have more of a horizontal. When you push, you'll be pushing more horizontal. So what happens when you push? Well, you drop your shin angle, first of all. So you're gonna spend some time actually dropping your shin angle. When you set up like that, you're losing tens of seconds right there with just dropping your hips so you can actually push. So your shin angle should you're bringing it down to a more appropriate, but it should even be lower than that. All right, so your hips need to come down so you can actually push horizontally. So then you push. It looks like you even try to drop even further, which is great. This actually doesn't look bad. By the time you get to the actual push, it's actually pretty horizontal, which is pretty good. Let's see what you look like when you get it fully extended. That's actually not a bad horizontal push. But you spent a second just getting into the position to push. Going from here, you're not in a set position. That's what it's showing me. You're not in a set position to push horizontally. So you drop your hips. When the gun goes off, pow, drop. People are gone. Other people are already gone. You might benefit from even raising that pedal in the back up a little bit. But main thing is your hips don't come up so much. You might find that the back pedal needs to come up a little bit because the angle of your foot might change as you do that. So then you push. That's not a bad push. You end up landing, see, boom, right underneath your hips. It's not terrible, but ideally you'd like the first step to land like here. Oops. I wish I could move a little slower here. Boom. When that first step lands, boom. You like your hip. Okay, boom. Your hip is here. Your heel is here. So you're a little bit behind. But ideally, it's not terrible. It's not bad. But you want it to be as far back as possible. So this angle, the shin angle, it's going to be further back. So if you're essentially, you push, boom, get it back down, but back. I think more focusing on the back part is going to automatically fix this issue because you're going down instead of back. Just you're going down, so you're landing just under your hips. But if you are to get your mind back, you're going to attack with your hips. Here, you're going to whip. This is going to go back. And you're going to land behind your hips, pushing yourself forward more. And that shin angle is going to automatically be a little more horizontal, which is going to push you forward it's going to shoot you out like a bullet. You lost minimum 0.2 seconds, maybe 0.3 seconds here, just from the not being set. Your hips too high. So when the gun goes off, you're dropping your hips to get the push, and then you're losing something right here by going down instead of pushing back. You want to be pushing back. Let's see where we go from here. Not a bad extension. So then you're getting a pretty good low heel recovery. So you're bringing it straight back, and you're not cycling. That's good. You're doing great with not bringing your heel up to your butt. You're just coming straight this way. That's really good. Your heel is not dropping, right? You got really good foot and ankle strength right now. I mean, you need to continue, working and doing your seated calf freezes, stuff like that, but continue to build on that. But you built that over the summer so that you're not dropping your heel. You got great, you're not losing energy there. That's really good. Boom, you push, but same thing happens again. Here, your mind is not about pushing back, right? You don't have that ingrained in your movement. So you're gonna see this shin angle. This should already be attacking back. Back. You're gonna go down. Shin angle, boom. Vertical. I mean, you got a little bit of horizontal vector. But remember in the Keelan Walker video, you're gonna be here. Good, no heel drop, awesome. This is great. You're bringing this through without cycling it up to your butt. That's great. That's good stuff. You're not far from where you need to be. Boom. Still no heel drop. That is amazing. This is great foot and ankle strength. This is like one of the things that most people are lacking. That's where they lose energy. Great push extension. Excellent extension. You're great pushing from the butt. Again, here you can see you're already setting up to push down instead of back, because the swing leg is already starting to swing out to prepare to push down. You're taking flight when you need to be pushing back. At this point of your race, at the beginning, you want to be pushing back. That vector is going to be down. You're getting yourself up in the air. This is the form of somebody who's running max speed, just basically. I mean, somewhere in the middle of the race rather than the beginning. This is only your third step. Boom. Very vertical, too vertical. If you don't let that swing leg swing forward here, and you're more focused on tacking back at this point, before your lower leg, right here. Boom, you're going back instead of the next frame being, see, floating forward. Your shin floats forward. You're going to tack back right here. Then your shin, you basically coming back, your foot goes, attacks the ground backward in a horizontal vector. Don't let it float forward, because then you're already going to be basically taking air. You're taking flight. Your force is going in the wrong direction. Boom. So then your shin angle on ground contact is in front of your hips. That's a braking force. So you're actually slowing down, because your hips are here, heel is here. You want it to be back here, but it all comes from what happened here. Instead of coming down, you floated forward for that more vertical air. Boom. Again, great. Here, because you were so vertical, your heel looks like it doesn't really drop, but it's already flat when you come down. And it's so much vertical force, you're going to lose. You're going to have some heel drop. That's like decreasing time is right there. That's you spending more time on the ground than you really need to get that push. Again, great heel recovery here, though. Great heel recovery where you just bringing it straight up. You're not cycling your heel up. You're doing great with fixing that. Good push. I mean, the push is great. You're extending, you're pushing with the hips. And you're going to do the same thing here. Boom. Right here. That should be back down. Pushing back. If you're thinking about pushing back, but you're here, you float out, Shin floats out. You think about pushing up and getting more air. You don't want air here. At this point in the race, you want to be pushing back, getting speed, horizontal, picking up speed, accelerating. Boom, you land in front of your hips. Therefore, heel is in front of the hips. Your body needs to float over the hip before you can push back. You can't push back until your hips get in front of your heel. Boom, now you can push back. Those 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. You've gone, I don't know, 5 meters. What's going to happen in a race like this is that people who are technically better at pushing back, they're here already, right? Then you start getting tight, right? You're behind. You should be up here. You'll be just up. You'll be up here. And at this point, you're pretty much vertical, but you're still landing. You're landing. I mean, it's just the setup, because you know you're set up now where you're just same things happening. Boom. Here you should be already coming down, push back. But that again, the heel, because your mind's not thinking about pushing back. You're trying to push up. Your heel floats forward a little more. Boom. Your lower leg floats forward. It gets vertical. You land in front of your hips. Boom. Hips here, heels here. Hips have to get in front of the heel before you can push back. Same thing. All right. And then you're landing, and it sets you up. It just sets you up in a situation where you're landing to push instead of whipping and bouncing. But at this point, you know, by the time you get to this point, you should be up here, and you'll be same amount of steps. You'll be up here, and you'll be transitioning into the whip and bounce off the ground. Again, not landing and pushing, whipping and bouncing. By the time you get up here, you're transitioning into that. But you get a lot of good things going. I mean, you don't have heel collapse. You got great push from the hips. Main thing is just the setup at the beginning from your hips being too high, right? So you want to stop. Your set position obviously is not here. It's even lower than this. It should be lower than this. Like your shin angles should be down here. That'll set up everything in a situation where you'll be rolling just so much better. Everything else that comes after this, it's just mentally pushing back. That should fix it.